Good morning. Welcome to Time in His Word. I got a question for you this morning. I guess you could call it a question. I read this verse this morning, and it kind of got me to wondering, why is it that I have such a drive to serve someone whom I can't see, I can't touch, I can't verbally hear, but yet I do my best to serve this person? And I read this book that he's provided, and I try to absorb as much of it as I can and to live the life that it describes that it wants us to live. I was thinking this morning, why do I strive so hard to do that? It's another one of them questions I ponder from time to time, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks of a question like that. Maybe not in those words, but in some way, like why do I strive so hard to serve this man called Jesus? I have no answer for it. I just know that I'm one of those individuals that I'm either all in or I'm not. Kind of like we can read in Scripture that the author of the book of James, which was Jesus' half brother, at first didn't believe, but then when he did, he was all in. And I guess you could say I was kind of the same way. I grew up in the church, going to church all the time. I went to the activities because that's just what we did. But it wasn't until I was into my 20s and had a family, and one of my daughters said, "Hey, Dad, I want to go to church." And I hadn't been going to church at that time. It was like something clicked, and I just got this passion and this drive to serve him. I'm trying to get him. There's a truck next to us, and he wants to bark, so I thought I'd put him in the carrier, and he'd be quiet, and then he decides to cry. So more interruptions. But anyway, back to what I was saying. In my 20s, late 20s, early 30s, I just got this passion, this drive that I wanted to serve this man called Jesus. And I can't describe it. It's not bad. Maybe sometimes I went a little bit overboard, got a little zealous, but all of us are guilty of doing something like that in something that we believe in, and that. And I want others to have the same passion to serve as I do. And I know sometimes I might be, like I said, a little overzealous, but it's one of them. I firmly believe in this book and what it says and who I'm serving. Let me explain. Let me read a verse that I found this morning, and it just kind of helps me along with my thought of why am I serving this man called Jesus. In Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, it says this in verse 11: "He has made everything appropriate in its time. He has also set eternity in their heart. Yet so that man will not find out the work which God has done from the beginning even to the end. I know that there is nothing better for them than to rejoice and do good in one's lifetime." I guess that kind of explains it in a way that it's acceptable to me, in that, yeah, I want to spend eternity with my Jesus, and maybe that's why I study so much. I could do better. I could do better on study. I'll just put it that way. But there's that passion, there's that drive to serve. And this verse says, "He has also set eternity in their hearts." Maybe that describes a little bit, or maybe that helps me understand why I have this passion and drive to serve him. And I want others to come along, but I also know that I cannot force it on them. And so there's a good friend of mine, and he tells people that. He said, "Hey, James won't pester you, but if you ask a question, you've opened the door, and he's gonna share with you. He's gonna tell you what he's gonna answer the question as best you can, and he's gonna share with you. but he said he doesn't force it on you. And he's told me that a number of times, and I like that in that I would hope others see me that way, that yes, I have a strong desire to serve. I have a strong passion to serve. Am I focused on eternity? Yes, that's the end goal. That's what I'm working at. But at the same time, I don't force it on people because I don't want to turn them away. Because a preacher of mine, he has since passed away, and he taught me so much. And one of the things he taught me was that if you're sharing the gospel with somebody and the conversation kind of dies, he said it's time to walk away. You have done your bit in sharing with this individual. If you keep pressing it, you will harden their heart and they will not want to receive Jesus. They don't want to hear no more. And I said, well, how will I know when the conversations have died? He said, you'll know. And I've had that happen a number of times. I've shared with people and everything's going good. Then all of a sudden it comes to that point where like, I don't got no more to say. And I realize that I'm done. I've done my job. I've shared with this person all I'm supposed to, and it's time to walk away and let them mill and chew on what we've talked about, so that when the next individual comes along that's supposed to take the conversation farther, they can. So there's that fine, delicate line. But I kind of think that this verse explains everything for me, in that why I have this passion to serve, why I do the things that I do. And it's because he has made everything appropriate in its time. He has also set eternity in their heart, yet so that man will not find out what work God has done from the beginning even to the end. For I know that there is nothing better for them than to rejoice and to do good in one's lifetime. Think about that today. If you have time, look up Ecclesiastes 3, verse 11. But more importantly, only you can answer this question, as I've tried to do this morning. Why are you so passionate to serve a God that you can't see, you can't touch, you can't verbally hear, but yet they consume you, and that's what you want to do?